Crystal looked as though she was ready to breakfast on a leg ripped from a cow, but no, a raw cacao ball was the ultimate indulgence for her, apparently. It looked like shit to Jackson, but he kept that opinion to himself in case he found his face mashed into the breakfast table, and instead he ate up his buckwheat porridge like a good boy. The elusive Tommy Holroyd had not appeared. Jackson was beginning to think Crystal's husband was a figment of her imagination. He wondered what Tommy would have made of a strange man availing himself of his bed and his buckwheat porridge like an unwanted Goldilocks. In tribute to the early morning warmth, Crystal was wearing shorts and a vest top and flip-flops. Jackson could see her bra strap beneath the top, and her fantastic legs were on full display, as was her fantastic black eye. "Here," she said, dumping the mug of coffee in front of him. Jackson thought that he had never met a woman who was less interested in him. The Amazon Queen sat down opposite him and said, "I'm not paying you, you know. You've done fuck all." "Fair enough," Jackson said. When he left Highhaven after his workhouse breakfast, both Candy and Harry were still asleep upstairs, worn out by the previous day's events. Harry had sketchily related their exploits before exhaustion got the better of him last night. They had been driven to a field, he said, and been locked in a caravan from which they had subsequently escaped. But Harry had no idea where the caravan was, except that it seemed to be near the sea. After they had escaped, a man had given them a lift back to Highhaven. He didn't give his name, but he was driving a silver car. At least Harry thought it was silver. It was difficult to tell in the dark, and no, he didn't know what make it was because he had been distressed to the point of collapsing at the time, he said. So could he please be left alone now to go to bed and sleep? And what did it matter anyway, as the man had helped them, possibly even saved them? He knew my name," Harry added. "What do you mean?" Crystal said, frowning. "He said, 'Hop in, Harry.' I know that was weird, and I'm sure you want to discuss it endlessly, but I really do have to go to bed now. Sorry." "Don't be sorry, Harry," Crystal said, kissing him on the forehead. "You're a hero. Night-night." "Night. Who are you, by the way?" he said to Jackson. "Just a concerned bystander," Jackson said. "I helped your stepmother look for you." "You didn't find him, though, did you?" Crystal said. "He found himself. Claims he's a detective," she said to Harry, "but he's shit at detecting." "What do you make of that?" Jackson had asked Crystal once Harry had dragged himself up the stairs. That the guy knew who he was. Was it a good thing or a bad thing? Tied in or tied out? "I don't make anything of it," Crystal said. "I don't intend to make anything of anything. And no, you can't look at the footage from our CCTV because your work here is done. They've made their point. My mouth is shut." She made an exaggerated zipping motion on those perfect lips and said, "I'll handle this on my own, thanks, so bugger off, Jackson Brodie." After their failure to find Harry and Candy at Flamborough Head, Jackson had driven a defeated Crystal back to Highhaven. "They might call on the house phone," she said hopefully. "Or they might bring them back. If they're trying to teach me a lesson, they've succeeded because, believe me, I don't want anything happening to my kids." It had been growing dark by the time they arrived at Highhaven. Bats were flitting overhead like an aerial escort as they turned into the driveway. A fanfare of lights along the drive came on automatically as the Toyota approached the house. It was an impressive place. Holroyd haulage must be pretty successful, Jackson reckoned. He was just reiterating to Crystal that the only course open to her now was to go to the police, and she was just reiterating that he should fuck off, when a security light above the front door snapped on. Crystal gasped, and Jackson said, "Oh, shit," because they both saw that something had been deposited on the front doorstep. It looked like a bundle of clothing, but as they drew nearer, it took on a human shape. Jackson's heart dropped several floors, and he thought, "Oh, please, God, not a body." But then the figure stirred and resolved itself into two figures, one larger than the other. The larger figure stood up, blinking in the bright lights. Harry. Crystal was out of the car before Jackson had hit the brakes, running towards Harry and flinging her arms round him before scooping up Candy from the step. Jackson climbed stiffly out of the car. It had been a long day. He took the funicular up to the esplanade to save Dido's legs, although his knees were grateful as well. When they came out of the cabin at the top, Jackson found the Collier film unit swarming everywhere. No sign of Julia, though, so he made his way to the unit base.